Hey friends, so today I'm going to show you something in anomaly detection, and I've used Pytorch to develop that. So first, let me tell you what is anomaly detection. Let me open the data file. Okay, so think of it as a Oracle payables procure to pay data. Okay, so you have the transaction ID, you have the supplier name, you have the payment amount, and the specialist who made the payment. That is your AP specialist. Okay, so this payment amount could be for one supplier. I'm sorry, for one invoice, for multiple invoices, like that. We can also expand this to dates, but in this example, I have not given dates. But this basically has so many different transactions. I think it has about 10,000 transactions. Okay, so very easy export from Oracle. You can do an OTBI and export all this sort of information from OTBI also. Let's go and do a filter and we'll see the suppliers. So supplier 1 all the way till supplier 49. So there are about 50 suppliers over here. Okay. This is the payment amount and let's see how many AP specialists. Around 10 AP specialists are there. And these numbers are random. Okay. There's no special logic around this number. Numbers are pretty random. So now it may be possible that something in this data is not right. It's an anomaly. Anomaly means something which is not usual, something which is totally unusual. So we need to determine that. So basically, it could happen that somebody, some specialist, specialist 8, specialist 5, some any AP specialist could have fabricated particular invoice and made payments. Depending on any factors. Okay, the system is going to tell us that these are the things which seem to be anomalous. Okay, it may or may not be possible. This is how credit card companies also detect fraud detection kind of scenarios. Same logic, similar logic is applied. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. So let me go to my PyCharm. Okay, I go to this folder and I'll go to my code. Sorry, one second. Okay, so let me run this code. I like the Streamlit application. In fact, this time I've used Streamlit and PyTorch together. So this tells me supplier payment monitoring and anomaly detection. Let me go and widen this. Okay, so here I'm going to be uploading the file which I just showed you. This is supplier payments, the same file. Okay, I'm going to close this and I'll upload this. So it'll upload it and it'll give me the preview of the data, transaction ID. Okay, and then it's training the model. Okay, after that, it tells me to set up a threshold over here. Okay, this is the threshold. I've put the threshold as 50% right now. Okay, if I select 50% from this data, it is identifying that these kind of transactions are anomalous. There is something unusual about them. It won't have all transaction ID 4, supplier 43, 69, 20, or specialist number 6. According to the system, it has defined this as anomalous. So see, again, all these are estimates and predictions. It may or may not be anomalous. Sometimes you travel abroad and you use your credit card in the flight. So sometimes the credit card companies will reach out to you and say, "Did you try to do that? There was a transactions." It's because their machine learning program is detecting this particular transaction as a fraud. Sometimes it may be a real fraud. Sometimes it is not. Similarly, sometimes there might be a situation where there is a fraudulent AP specialist who is making payments to a dummy supplier. That could happen in real industry, or could be a real one. Okay, so that's your system which is generating this kind of data. Okay, and we have the option if you have like so many different transactions are there out of 10,000, it has identified so many. Okay, and you can also download these anomalies as a CSV file. It'll give you anomalous transactions. It'll just dump it into a CSV file. Okay, let's see that. So it's basically the same transaction supplier amount payment, but it says anomaly is true. So it has identified that the anomaly is true in this case. But then we can set up the thresholds, right? So for example, if I want the threshold to be like, I don't want um, many transactions to get caught. I want to have a threshold that only certain level, certain amounts, certain types needs to be caught in such kind of anomaly. You can increase the threshold like that. If you keep changing the threshold, it will actually detect less. Okay, the amount of transactions will be less compared to the previous ones. Okay, for example, if you keep the threshold much more, you can see that it is even more lesser. Okay, let's say there is a threshold of 1. It's just a couple of them. So it all depends on the control you have. Okay, on what? Let's say you keep the threshold as 0.10. So many transactions start showing up. So the amount of control you want to have to detect the anomaly can be controlled. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you. So this is a very quick demo on anomaly detection, supplier payment monitoring, and anomaly detection. There are similar use cases, like I said, fraud detections, credit card payments, unusual payments detections, and things like that. So all this data is generated in your ERP, but for handling the risk situation, these kind of additional analysis can be done on that data. Okay, just wanted to quickly show this to you. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next session. Bye.